action.
Hello, boys and girls. This is the course of environmental science, which is meant for BTech third year and fifth semester. The code for this particular subject is MC 501. As you know, this is the mandatory course of BTech third year, and I am G Chakraborty from Department of Chemistry, welcoming you to this course of environmental science. Now, in this particular subject, in this particular course, that is environmental science, we have already come across 8 lectures, and in the beginning we had initially started with the general part having 6 lectures, but now we are doing the module 2, that is air and its pollution, right? Now, in lecture 7 and lecture 8, we have seen the part 1 and part 2 of this air and its pollution, right? In the part 1, we have discussed briefly about the details of your layers of the atmosphere, right? Different layers of the atmosphere we people have briefly discussed in the part 1 of air and its pollution, this module, right? Now, in the last lecture, there is a lecture number 8, there is a part 2 of this air and its pollution thing, right? There we have seen that what is greenhouse effect, how greenhouse effect really considers the environment and how it affects the environment, what are the ill effects, basically how greenhouse effect results in the increase in global warming, and what are the basic reasons for this increase, and followed by how, if this increase happens, then what are the consequences, right? And how we can control this particular concept of global warming, that also we people have discussed in the previous lecture. Okay, now this is, as you can see, it is air and its pollution part 3, right? And in this lecture the highlights are the pollutants and contaminants, right? What the primary pollutants are, what the secondary pollutants are, and what are the meaning of criteria pollutants. These things are present in this particular lecture, right? Now, basically, before discussing about the concept of pollution and before seeing that what a pollutant means, can you tell me what is the main reason behind pollution? Now, if you are very modest, wise person, that you will say, I am the reason behind pollution. Yes, I create land pollution, I create water pollution, I'm breathing in breathing out CO2, so I'm creating air pollution. So I am the result of pollution, or human beings are the result of pollution. But if we are not thinking in that way, then we will come up with some other answer which will save mankind, right, from this what I can say, big load, right? A big load for a sin, that we are creating pollution, right? Now, if we think about that, then yes, the answer is pollutants are the result of, not result. Pollution is the result of pollutants, right? Pollutants are those which creates pollution. Now, this pollutant can be of different type. If it is some solid thing, it may create land pollution. If it is liquid, it may create water pollution. And if it is gaseous, it will create air pollution, right? If it is dust particle also, then also it can create air pollution. Okay, so those things we will see here in this particular lecture, right? Now, as you can see, the concept is clearly explained here, that any toxic substance, right, any toxic substance which is living or non-living, so it may be a living substance, it may be a non-living thing, right? Okay, at an undesirable limit is called pollutant. For example, let us see, suppose we want what we can say, yeah, we want some food. Okay, food for 2 persons, right? Now, what happened? The person to whom you have asked for food, he has given you food for 20 persons, but you are only 2. So 2 persons cannot eat food for 20 persons, right? If that is not returnable or refundable, then there are 2 options left, right? 2 persons will eat their food, the rest 18 persons, they will distribute to the one who actually needs food, right? It may be the small children that who are hungry, it may be the beggars in the street, it may be those persons who need the food basically, or who are hungry. And if that is also not found, or that is also not done, then what will happen? This total food of 18 persons will go to the dustbin, right? Will go to the waste bin. Now it will become a pollutant, right? It will create land pollution. Okay. So basically, any it is written toxic substance, but it is not only the thing that always a toxic substance create pollution. Even you and I are creating pollution, and I can assure that I am not a toxic substance. I don't know about you, but I can assure that I'm not a toxic substance, right? But I'm creating pollution, yes, by releasing CO2. Right? Okay. Now, such a substance, when it's present in air, creates air pollution. Okay. Process of polluting the air and making it unsafe for living is called pollution of air. Now tell me, what is the difference between air pollution and pollution of air? Is there any difference? The answer is nitric oxide, means NO. That is no. There is no difference between the pollution of air and air pollution. Now, air is precious, and life cannot be sustained on this planet without it. Yes, we cannot live without air. That is pakki baat hai, right? That is 100% final that we cannot live without air. And in the troposphere, it provides oxygen for respiration, nitrogen to synthesize amino acids, that is proteins, right? And carbon dioxide for synthesis of carbohydrates through photosynthesis by plants. Okay, so everything is actually everything is needed for us, right? Which is ultimately consumed by animals. Okay, so air contains CO2, air contains O2, air contains N2, all are important for us. Water vapors are required to form clouds, leading to formation of rain and snow. Carbon dioxide absorbs infrared radiations to keep the earth warm. The troposphere controls the weather condition, right? Okay, so this is very important for us. Generally, a contaminant is an undesired material, although it does not have to be harm. This was what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. That it is not necessarily a toxic substance, right? It may happen that the thing that is creating pollution is not that much toxic, but it is not desirable. It is not toxic. It will not create you any harm, but it is not desirable. Okay, so pollution is in the uh, it is the presence of any substance or material that may cause harmful effect on human, animal, and planet. If there is no harm, then it is called contaminant. See, now here we are coming up with two different words. One is contaminant, right, and the other is pollutant, right? We have come up with two different words. One is contaminant and the other is pollutant. Think over it. Which one is contaminant? Which one is pollutant? We have to think over it. Okay. Alright. As you can see, if something is not creating you harm, then it is contaminant. If something is creating you harm, then that is pollutant. Okay. So let us go to the next slide and see what happens next. As you can see in this slide, we'll be seeing what the different sources of pollution are. Okay, so primary sources are there, secondary sources are there, right? Let us see what different type of sources we are getting whenever we are discussing about air pollution, right? Now there are many sources and particulate matter for pollutants. These sources are, number one is burning of coal. Yes, burning of coal creates huge amount of pollution. Now why burning of coal creates this much amount of pollution? If we try to explore this particular thing, you will see that coal actually burning is of two types. One is complete combustion and another is incomplete combustion. Okay, one is complete combustion and the other is incomplete combustion. Now, incomplete combustion is very harmful because it releases the single mono oxides, basically just like carbon monoxide. You can see that it is written that burning of coal or fossil fuels results in the formation of CO, CO2, SO2, and NOx and hydrocarbons, particulate matters, right? But the thing is, if the burning is complete, no CO will release, no NO will release, right? If burning is complete, whatever will be released will be dioxides, mostly dioxides or maybe trioxides, right? But if the burning is incomplete, then it will release the monoxides, which are very harmful. Along with that, several hydrocarbons like methane are released, and particulate matters, mean dust particles, are released. Okay. Now the fertilizer plants, if we go to the second option, that is the fertilizer plants, then we will see that basically they release NH3, NOx, and hydrocarbons. HC means hydrocarbons. Okay. Now fertilizer plants, they produce their own goods, and they release these particular things, whereas the chemical plants, whatever are present, they basically release Cl2, means they release chlorides. Okay, chlorine gas. If we go to the industrial things, that is the steel plants, they produce again somewhat similar to that of burning of coal, but see, steel plant produces F2, which is not produced while coal is burnt, right? Now again, here also I will say the same thing, that if we are doing complete combustion, then there is no problem, but if we are doing incomplete combustion, definitely there will be some problem, right? Okay. And finally, last but not least, the automobiles that we use, it also, here also, see, here also similar type of thing like the first one, because see, why these gases will be released from the automobiles? Due to burning of some fuel, right? Now that fuel may be petrol, that fuel may be diesel, or maybe something else, but whatever you people are using, petrol या diesel, कुछ भी आप लोग use करो, the thing is, it is definitely a fossil fuel. Okay. And here also, if your engine is very good, then complete combustion will be there, it will release CO2, SO2 and all. And if it is not that much good, you will see black sooty flame containing hydrocarbons, particulate matters, and very poisonous gas like carbon monoxide. Okay, so these were the sources of pollution. Next, we have classification of pollutants. Now, how many types of pollutants are present, that we people need to see. Okay, how we are going to see that? See, basically pollutants basically are of two types, right? One is the primary pollutants and the other is the secondary pollutants. Okay. Now, as far as the primary pollutants are concerned, they are emitted directly into the atmosphere, right? Whatever things are emitted directly into the atmosphere are called primary pollutants. For example, I am emitting CO2 at this moment, and CO2 is nothing but a primary pollutant, right? Similarly, nitrogen oxides, carbon oxides, CO2 is definitely carbon oxide. Nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide that are produced by burning of fuels actually constitutes the primary pollutants. Okay, as you can see, one reaction is written that the fuels basically contains hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, lead, ash, etc., and they react with air. Now air, the basic components of air is oxygen and nitrogen, as we people know, right? So what it emits after the burning, number one is different types of gases, number two is ash. Okay, now these different type of gases are nothing but CO, CO2, SO2, NOx, H2O is vapor, SOY, right? There is SOx, and PV and PVO. Okay, so particulates also, right? So these were the primary pollutants that are released, whereas secondary pollutants are those which are not released directly into the atmosphere, but are formed due to chemical processes. Okay, that means something is present in the atmosphere, now that will react with something else in presence of sunlight and all, and that will in fact result to a third compound which is a pollutant to us. Okay, then that will be a secondary pollutant, right? Now some reactions are given here which actually signifies the formation of secondary pollutants. For example, N2O, that is nitric nitrogen oxide, it actually reacts with H nu. H nu means sunlight. In presence of sunlight, it gets dissociated into N2 and O2, and oxygen gets reacted with nitrogen to form NO, right? And it also reacts with N2 to form O3 and so on, right? So different four reactions we people have seen in presence. Third element here, nitrogen, the ozone formed is stable. Okay, fine. In presence of nitrogen, the ozone that is formed is stable. Okay, so this was all about the classification of pollutants. There is a basically of two types. Now, apart from this two types of pollutants, right? There are several other types of pollutants. Now, what these other types of pollutants are? Basically, there are six types of pollutants, or six pollutants rather, which are combinedly known as criteria pollutants. Okay, now these are very much harmful to us, which actually plays the lead role in creating air pollution. Okay, so they are the main villains, right? So we need to see who the villains are, right? So these criteria pollutants are the main villains of the environment as far as air pollution is concerned. Okay, now let us move into the details and see that what these criteria pollutants are. So basically it is written that there are six criteria pollutants which have main contribution in creating air pollution, and they are primary pollutants like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide and lead, and secondary pollutants like ground level ozone or tropospheric ozone, right? Okay, so we will move into each of these things, right? We will do detailed study of each of these criteria pollutants because it is very very important, right? And what their effects are, how they can be controlled, that also we will discuss in this particular lecture, right? So let us move into the first criteria pollutant, that is carbon monoxide, CO, right? As you can see, the source basically its nature is, it is colorless, odorless and highly poisonous gas. So it is colorless and odorless, it is highly poisonous gas and is present in nature due to incomplete burning of coal, wood, petrol. I have already told you people in the last slide that whenever we see monoxide, then always remember that it is formed by incomplete combustion of fossil fuel, whereas whenever you see dioxide, you know that it is a complete combustion of a fossil fuel, right? So if we see here, we will see that it is number one colorless, number two odorless and poisonous, and formed by incomplete combustion of fossil fuels, right? Now what the effects are? Combines with hemoglobin, right? Blocks the oxygen carrying capacity and forms carboxyhemoglobin. Very very important. This is actually known to you people. In class 11 there was a chapter that is P block elements, right, where in details this thing was explained, that how this happens. Actually, if you know the structure of hemoglobin, I don't know whether you know it or not, right? Because we are actually engineers, not doctors. Okay, but I know it very well, that's why I'm discussing with you people that hemoglobin structure contains porphyrin and iron, right? Now porphyrin is nothing but a 10-membered ring. So if you want to know what is porphyrin, you have to ask Mr. Google, and he will show you exactly the diagram that what porphyrin ring is. Basically it is just a ligand. Okay, now as you know that each ligand contains some metal, right? And that particular metal in this case is iron, because it is hemoglobin, right? So together, why the name is hemoglobin, you know, because globin comes from globular protein. Okay, there are two types of proteins basically. One is fibrous protein, another is globular protein. Okay, now this one is globular protein, so the name globin has come, and the name of this particular protein is heme. Okay, heme protein. So hemoglobin is the name, like that. Okay, now this hemoglobin basically contains iron and porphyrin ring, and the iron here is present in +2 state, right? As we can see, as we know that iron can have two oxidation states. One is +2, another is +3. So in normal condition it is +2, but whenever it actually reacts with oxygen to catch the oxygen, it oxidizes itself to +3, right? So this +3 iron, this actually carries the oxygen to the blood and to the heart, and there it further gets reduced to Fe2+, and the oxygen is released, right? Now whenever CO will come, See, bonding of iron with carbon is much more stable than that of O2 because O2 is a homonuclear molecule and CO is heteronuclear molecule, right? So if that happens, then we will see a very simple thing will happen, that the Hb or the heme will bind with the this particular carbon monoxide, and it will form a very strong bond compared to that of oxygen. So that particular the carrying capacity of that particular protein or that hemoglobin molecule will be destroyed. Okay, so gradually what will happen if we intake CO for a long time, then what will happen, all our internal sources will carbon monoxide and not blood, sorry, not oxygen, right? And what will happen, there will be a small occasion in our family where everybody will come and they will cry because we will die, right? Okay, so this was CO. Second one is oxides of nitrogen. Now what we people are having inside the oxides of nitrogen part, you see there are basically 6 oxides, right? Basically we call them NOx. So this 6 oxide starts from NO, and it contains NO2, N2O, N2O3, N2O4, N2O5. Okay, right? And these two, however, 2 oxides which are very important air pollutants are NO and NO2. NO and NO2 are the main villains. Sorry, the other brothers are good. Only these 2 brothers are naughty. One is NO and another is NO2. Right? How, from where we obtain it? Basically by burning of fossil fuels, yes, and from the fertilizer plants where NPK is obtained, and there is nitrogen based fertilizer is made. From there we get it from the textile industry and automobile exhaust and decomposition of organic waste. Right? So chemical industries also are there, from where we may get this particular pollutant. Right? Now what the effects are? If concentration is low, then there is no problem, right? And but if the concentration is high, then what will happen? Number one, we will have loss of breath, that is respiratory irritation, impairment of lung defense, that is lung will fail, headache, okay, loss of appetite, bronchitis, corrosion of teeth, and leaf damage of sensitive plants. Okay, so all this will happen if this particular pollutants in NO2 are present in air in large amount, right? If it is in permissible limit, then there is no problem. NO is known to be responsible for ozone layer depletion of the atmosphere. Okay, so another problematic work has been done by this particular thing. Okay, now 2 done, 4 to go, right? So the third one is SO2, and we can see it is colorless poisonous gas and is highly soluble in water, but its odor is very suffocating and pungent. Okay, now we get it from the burning of fossil fuels and the thermal power plants and fertilizer plants, right? From there we are getting this particular thing, right? Also we will get it from steel plants, oil refineries, and smelting of the ores which are sulfide in nature. Okay, ETC has become ECT here, right? Anyway, the main source of these fossil fuels are coal. There is burning of coal causes coal contains 1 to 6% of sulfur, so actually it releases as SO2. Okay, SO2, how acid rain is formed, this is very important, so please go through this particular reaction. It is a reaction called acid rain. SO2 is reacting with OH to form H2SO free radical, right, and which finally reacts with water to form sulfuric acid, which is very dangerous, right? Okay, now what the harmful effects of this particular thing is? Number one, it is highly soluble in water, so definitely it will create a big problem in our body, because our body actually is made of 80% of or 90% of water, right? It will create suffocation, respiratory irritation, asthma, irritation to throat, eyes, and London smog was caused due to this particular culprit, right? So huge amount of problem occurs with this man, right? SO2. Next we are having particulate matter. Okay, particulate matters are nothing but dust particles. There is small solid particles and liquid droplets. Okay, and the size of this particular thing is 2 micrometer to 50 micrometer, and the examples are dust, smog, dust, fog, and fume. Okay, so all these are example of particulate matters, and basically they block the solar radiation and lowers the Earth's atmosphere. This is very, very important. They block the solar radiation, lowers the Earth's atmosphere and overall weather condition. Plant leaves, if these are deposited, then the photosynthesis will not happen and problem will be caused. And respiratory disease, especially cancer, is caused by this particular pollutant, right? So this was all about the fourth one. Let's go to the fifth one. As you can see, these are the fifth and sixth types of pollutants, criteria pollutants. The fifth one is lead, the thing that caused a big company to shut down, that is Maggi. Okay, huge amount of lead was found, more than permissible amount of lead was found in Maggi, but gradually different observations were there, and finally the company got a clean sheet, and now their products are not having that much lead, or maybe they are not having any lead, I don't know, right? But the problem happened due to lead, that everybody knows in India, right? And Maggi is not my personal favorite, but is favorite of many persons, right? Okay, so this mainly source is, it comes from automobile emission due to burning of gasoline and anti-knock additive, right? Tetraethyl lead, now TEL, right? This is very important thing. Anti-knocking agent basically is used in countries where the conditions are cold, right? There TEL, or the tetraethyl lead, is mixed with gasoline so that the knocking problem is omitted, right? But it actually releases PV in the air, so it is a little bit problematic, right? Other sources are burning of gas, oil, glass manufacturing, lead acid bacteria manufacturing, and white paint consisting of lead, right? And lead paint consisting of plumbum Pb3O4. Okay, effects are, it damages kidney and liver, due to which Maggi was prohibited from taking by the children, right? Mental retardation is caused, abnormality in fertility and pregnancy are also caused. Okay, huge problems are there. So last but not least, the sixth one is ground level ozone. Now, as we know that ozone, if it is present in stratosphere, it is very good. If it is present in troposphere, it is very bad, right? This particular tropospheric ozone, it actually results in the formation of this O3 and N2. We have seen this reaction previously, and it poses threat when inhale in air containing oxygen, right? So it is not good for us, it is rather bad for us. Okay, so this was all about our journey for today. Now in today's journey, we have seen that different types of pollutants, that is primary, secondary and criteria pollutants, right? And we have seen individually that how primary pollutants are caused, how secondary pollutants result from, what are the effects of each of these pollutants. Finally, we have gone into the details of the criteria pollutants, and we have explained each of these six categories of criteria pollutants, right? Okay, so in the next lecture we'll come up with something different. So till then, just you go through the lecture. If in case of any problem, jot it down, inform me, we will solve it out. And till then, have a safe life, be happy and save environment, right? So thank you so much, and let's wait for the next lecture.